Hey everybody, this is Alex and welcome to Level 1 Strength. Tried to switch up the view for everybody a little bit here, just because I can now because they're done with construction. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start off with my Tai Chi twist. Ooh, this is always my favorite way to get started. You just want to let your arms dangle and kind of even hit you in the body. Good morning. All right. So just working on my Tai Chi twists. I was just saying that I had switched up the angle a little bit, trying to give you a different background since we're done with construction and all our stuff is back upstairs where it belongs. Good, let's go to some butt kickers. Good. And I can go ahead and add that coordination, reaching behind with the opposite hand. Good morning. All right. So doing Fridays now too. I'm glad. I'm glad. Hope everybody's keeping busy. Okay, good. Let's do some high knees. Add my rotation to that too. All right, good. Let's do some arm circles. Trying to keep those arms fairly straight. I was looking at mine on video the other day and they weren't very straight. All right, let's go back the other way. Good morning. Okay, good. Let's see. Let's do some of those chest stretchers here. I want to pinch the elbows together. Shouldn't be feeling any pinching in the shoulders, but maybe the chest. I want to feel that muscle stretch, the pecs. Squeezing those shoulders together. Excellent. All right, you know what's next. Let's go ahead and get some squats going here. Feet are straight like train tracks. I want to put my hands on my hips. That helps me keep the chest up tall, moving the butt back, and knees. Most people, they really want to stay neutral is the right way to say it, but you'll hear me say keep the knees out because that's 95% of everybody. I have met one person at Trilogy that's not the case. So it's got to be more than 95%, like 99% of people. But don't quote me on that because I'm not sure what it is. But I know that most people, it seems to them like they are keeping their knees far out because they're so used to keeping them so close in. Let's do 3 more. 2 and 3. Good. Okay, so that got us good and warmed up. We are going to start off with iron crosses. So you can do these with or without weights. If you're using the water bottles or cans, that's a really good weight. If you've got dumbbells, I mean, I'm using 6s, so I could probably use 8s, but I'm gonna start with 6s at least. Get good and warmed up. But you know, so that means for ladies, 3 is probably going to be plenty, maybe a 4 if you're a overachiever. All right, shoulders down. Pinch back, lock my arms straight, doing my squats, remembering that form we just talked about, and keeping my chest up tall. 2, 3. Breathing in on the way down and out on the way up. Really working on keeping those arms locked straight. Let's do 2 more. And good. Whew. All right, I'm gonna switch out my weights for some heavier ones. We'll do bent over rows. which we've been doing, but I want to reverse the grip today. So I'm holding it kind of like a bicep curl. And in fact, these do get confused with bicep curls, but they're different because I want to bend over and I'm pulling my elbows back behind me. Remember, keep the shoulders back. Find your seat there and then pull the elbows back. I like that. Find your seat. Sound like my high school teachers. 6. 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. And it's true, by turning the hand around like that, you are using the bicep more, but it's still a row. All right, what else do we have? Oh, I know what it was. Calf raises. So grab a dining room chair, I'll give you a sec. All right. I'm gonna be using the bench instead. You can use a dumbbell and putting my knee up on the chair and coming up onto the ball of the foot with the other chair. Remember, don't use your arm here on the leg. You want to tighten the pelvic floor and use that leg just for stability. Also, trying not to touch the ground with the heel if you're able. If not, then touching the ground's fine. You're just not going to get as good a contraction. But you do that until you can. All right, good. Let's do the other side. I'm going to stay put here, just so I'll stay on screen there. And got my weight in this same hand as the foot that's on the ground. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 11, and 12. Okay, something there to balance off those killers we're doing next. So back to the iron cross, i.e. the killers. Feet are straight like train tracks. All right, you ready? Arms out, try to get them locked straight, shoulders back and down, belly buttons in, and squat. Breathing out on the way up. 3. 2 more. And 12. All right. Good. Put those guys back down. I'm going to come over here, grab my heavy weights. Oh. And remember, we're turning those weights around, sitting back, bending my knees. And I like that, find that seat. That's true. You're really, I mean, my quads are still working, but other than that, it should be fair. And I got to keep the shoulders back. But other than that, it should kind of, at least eventually, kind of fall into place. I say that now. Didn't feel like that in the beginning. But I've got a pretty nasty spine curve too, so that had something to do with it. Well, not nasty, but enough to affect stuff like that. Let's do 5 more. Try to keep your torso still. I just caught myself moving the torso a little bit. The other cue is push the chest forward. All right, good. Catch my breath. Going back to our calf raises here. And I always tell people that I really think of this more as a stability core exercise than a calf exercise, but does a pretty good job on the calves too. And they're not easy to get, by the way. You either got them or you don't. And I've never seen anybody really change from, you know, small calves to giant calves, or from big calves to itty bitty little calves. But you can certainly make them look nice, and really your body kind of shapes up the way it's supposed to. And you kind of notice that if you work it long enough, that yeah, it might not be exactly what you had in mind. Good. But it's usually pretty good stuff. Oh, look, I conveniently forgot my weight. That wasn't on purpose, but since I'm over here, we'll keep going. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. And don't pull yourself up with that other leg either. I just caught myself doing that too. You know, stuff like that happens. Your body's always trying to find the easiest way forward. And if you don't keep an eye on it, it always defaults back to finding the easy way to do things. All right. I think I want to do these 8s this last go round. See if I can step it up a notch. If I, for some reason, am off screen for a few seconds, I'll be right back, I promise. I was joking, as in like I pass out, but probably don't get it because oh boy. And 12. All right. Good, good. Going back over to my 15s here. Bigger weights. And that's assuming that you've got that position right. If you're still working on that, stick with the light weights. You don't need heavy weights for this. And that's really the hard part. 15 pounds is nothing to row, but it is something to bend over and row sometimes, depending on how your core's working. $12, $13, $14, $15. All right. Whew. Going to keep my 15 this time. Bring it over to my chair. Puts up on the chair. Remember, I'm not pulling. Tightening the pelvic floor and trying not to put this foot down on the straight side. 11, 12. All right. Other side. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 12. Okay, very good. So let's see what we've got next. Oh, I have a feeling hay balers. I am correct. Hay balers we've got, then upright rows, and then launch curls. Darn those launch curls. I keep on putting those in, but there's a reason. You know, you look for a specific kind of exercise each round. Okay, so for the hay balers, you only need one weight or one something. One water bottle might be a little bit light. If you had like one of those big giant gallon water bottles, that might be a little bit better. But I'll leave that at your discretion, whatever you think is right. So I've got my right foot forward, and my weight's over on my left hand side. Swinging around, squatting, and then swinging. Squat back, swing. Want to really try to keep the shoulders back, the chest up. 3, 4, 5. Pushing the butt back each time I squat. 11 and 12. All right, one side down. So opposite leg forward, reaching around to my right side and swing. 11, and 12. All right. Oh, good. So I'm going to keep this heavy weight. Grab my other one. However, a lot of people don't need to be doing heavy weights on this. This is the upright row, and as always, I like to make sure to get that weight up just as high as the elbow. This is not right and is bad for your shoulder. Can impinge your shoulder. All right, never seen anything like that, but that's what they say, so we want to stay away from that. So if you're not able to pull your weight up as high, use lighter weights. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Good. Okay. So for the lunge curls, I definitely need lighter weights. In fact, I don't know that I need those 15s. They're wearing me out. There's no real break in this round, which is not a bad thing. But for the launch curls here, I'm curling up, keeping the elbows back for that. Then I extend the arms out, keeping the core tight and back. Got to really squeeze the core when you extend the arms to give you some support. Even then, there's not a lot. So really keep the chest tight, the shoulders tight. All right, good. I'm going to put those weights up. I'm not going to come all the way down, but I am going to come down a little bit from that 15 to a 12 here. Okay. So I'm going to start with my right leg forward, or your right leg forward, and rotate and twist. Looks a lot like a golf swing, but the big difference in this and a golf swing is that my hips do not turn. 2 more. And 12. All right, good. Let's do the other side. Guess I don't need to turn for that. So shoulders back, squatting back, and up. 11 and 12. All right, good stuff. So upright rows. I'll do a profile here too. I don't usually do those, but just wondering because we've got better, more close up, if that would be helpful. So even just generally keeping the chest up is something that I have to remember. So when I've got weight on it, you can absolutely guarantee I have to remember it. So up like that. Good. And 2, 3, 4. So you see my forearm is almost, it is horizontal actually, at the top. 9, 10, 11, and 12. Good. Remember too to try to keep those weights pretty close together. Doing those with a barbell is nice because you don't have to worry about that. Your hands stay put. And you can kind of feel the difference. You get a better stretch with the barbell. So give it a try sometime when germs are in a better situation than they are. So let's see, got to go back to my first exercise, or third exercise. I can't remember what it is. That one got me. Launch curls. Oh, that's why. I don't want to forget that one. I'm going to go to my 8s here. I'm not going to stick with the wimpy one, but it's going to make it tough. So let's see. And curl, extend while the core is tight, back and down. And really the core is tight all the time, but you'd better focus on it when you're extending those arms. And the chest especially, which is part of your core. And 12. All right, we've got one more round of those, but I need a water break first. So why don't you do the same thing? Okay. So, one more go around. Going to grab that little bit heavier weight. And of course, those are all just suggestions. It all depends on you. All right, so get up nice and tall here. Squatting back and throwing that hay bale. Good. Most importantly here, keep the chest up and the shoulders back. You just want to rotate around the spine. I don't want to bend over. Two more. And 12. All right. Whew. Getting my heart rate up there. I can swing a little bit harder at home than in class because I don't have to worry about hitting anybody if I let go. All right. So, squatting back on this side and look at my spine. Trying to keep it straight at least. Not the straightest of spines, but you can see it's still just rotating. Two more. 1 and 2. Actually, I like the way it looks better on that side. Okay, so upright rows. One more. Okay. We'll stand head on here. And 1, 2. Kind of end up in like a thriller pose there a little bit, except it's a low thriller pose. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Okay. I've got one more of the launch curls, and I think it's time to take a seat, which I'm ready for after today. Those iron crosses always get me, and then I did the hay balers pretty hard today. Okay, so launch curls. Curl, extend, keeping the core tight, keeping your shoulder tight, especially in the chest. So stabilize it out there. If it feels like it's going to pop your arm off, it's not good. It means you're not using the core to stabilize it. And that your body has somehow miraculously figured out a way to keep it up there. But you don't want to depend on that for too long. And one more. Okay, good. All right, so I'm gonna move my bench over as if it were a chair. You at home, if you don't have a bench, just use a dining room chair just as easily. And I think everybody knows about either a ball or a towel behind their back. And make sure you've got something there to support the low back and the lumbar spine. All right, what have we here? Chest flies. Okay, that sounds good. So I'm going to grab my 8s here. Just to start off pretty light. And the reason is just that I like to do a little bit lighter on these just because your shoulder is definitely at a vulnerable position here. So I just like to concentrate on the form and slowing it down and stretching. I mean, so many people have tight chests that if you can put a little bit of stretch in there, it's going to go a long ways. So also remember always keeping that 2 feet in between. Stretching out, stretch, 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 and coming back, leaving the 2 feet. Good. I think we're doubling up on this too. Sometimes I like to come back and do the same exercise again. That's kind of a, usually want to give it 3 days, where we're just, or I'm sorry, give it 2 days, where we're just giving it 1. But even that every once in a while is not a bad thing. Stretch, reach. And one more big stretch, reach, reach, reach as far out as you can. And back. Okay. So yeah, I just like to start that one sometimes a little light, get my shoulder happy with it. But let's go to a shoulder press, which has its issues too, but we're good and warmed up by now, so I don't think a heavy weight on these will give me any problems. So we're gonna do seesaw shoulder presses. So if you've got a, well, I would sit at the front of your chair, and we're gonna start with one weight up, and we'll do 20 of these. They're moving at the same time, meeting in the middle. Looks like this. 1, always trying to keep the elbow underneath your weight. 2, torso doesn't move. 4, 5, 6, 7. $19, $20. All right, that was good stuff. Yes. Okay, what do we got next? Halos. Let's do monkey shrugs instead of halos. I don't want to do halos. Most people probably don't have heavy enough weight at home. I don't know why I put that in there, but we can do monkey shrugs, and we can even do them seated depending on your chair. If you need to stand up for these, you can. But as you can see here, a lot of chairs, it's just a simple kitchen chair, dining room chair. It shouldn't give you any problems, it doesn't have arms. So elbows are out. I want to keep that angle in the elbow. That stays put, and then I just shrug the shoulders. Take some practice. All right, good. So even relatively lightweight at 15 for a shrug is not a big weight at all. But even so, slow it down, work on that form, and I could feel them. All right, so that's one go around. We got to go back and do 2 more of those. Let's grab our weights. I think I'm going to move up to my heavier weights now for the flies. Oh. Let's see about that. All right, so 2 feet in between, bringing out, and even if these are a little heavy, I can just do a shorter range of motion, but still want to feel that stretch. They're all right. 1, 2, 3, 4. 11 and 12. All right, that's more like it. Okay, I've got my shoulder press. Oh, I'm putting those weights down. I think I need a sip of water, that's why. I always tell people, don't feel like you're ever getting too much water. And that is water with stevia, by the way. No crap in it. Obviously some sort of crap, but not bad crap. Okay, so let's get back to the shoulder press. So, bringing these weights up to above my shoulders here. Elbows out in front of me, I don't want any of that. Good, and really what you're trying to do is keeping the elbow right underneath the weight, which usually means, let me turn to the side, for most people, that you need to come out here a little bit more than most people are used to doing. So, something to think about. Starting with 1 up and switching seesaw. 1, 2, or reciprocating if you want the fancy word. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. All right. Good. So, got my monkey shrugs again. Keep on throwing those weights down. Must not like them. Luckily, they can take it. Okay. Elbows out. Get my form here. Relax the shoulders down. And shrug. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Let's go to 15. 13, 14, 15. I bet my arm's that last one. Dang it. Oh well. Okay, so where were we at? Oh, that was it. We got one more go round. Okay, catch my breath. So, what am I doing about the flies? I think I'm going to try to stick with that heavy one. I definitely felt it, but I think I can do it one more time. So, find whatever weight's right for you. Starting up top, remember leaving that 1.5 feet or so, 2 feet in between the weights. Basically, you want your weights to not go inside of your shoulders. So think of when you're out here, think of your shoulders as the stopping point. So let's do it. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12. All right. Got the shoulder press and then the monkey shrugs. Okay, let's do it. Get that seesaw press out of the way. Weights up. One weight up. Brace the core and switch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right, good. Did you see my body switch energy systems there? See, I had to start breathing double. It's because you need more oxygen, then you get to a point, it's that first ventilatory threshold, and at that point, the curve gets steeper. You start needing more oxygen to keep going. That's where the fun begins, is once you really touch up. You don't have to stay in that area, but you want to get to that energy threshold every once in a while in a work, at least maybe twice in a workout. And that's a great rule for keeping the intensity up. And it also it really activates all the metabolic functions of your body. Really just get your hormones and your metabolism cranking. All right, so how are we doing on time? We got about 10 minutes. Let's see, got time for a couple little guys here. What do we have here? Let's do some concentration curls. We'll just finish up with that. That's pretty simple. We're in the seat here. These are not the most exciting of bicep curls, but they are said to be very effective. Just got a good range of motion there. I think that leaning back on the chair, though, is still my favorite. And 15. Good. Let's do the other side. I'm trying to think of some other ways you can do this too, because, well, hopefully you found some sort of weight to use. $11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Good. We'll go back and do one more set of those. I was going to mention, though, if you guys have any suggestions or ideas or anything, in one way, we're freed up from some of the limitations of the classroom. So anything you'd like to see or any ideas you have, please, I'd love to hear them. I'm afraid to introduce too much new because I don't know what you guys want or what if you do want anything new or if you want me to stick with exactly what we've been doing. So I'll keep doing what I've been doing unless I hear otherwise. But by all means, give me some feedback. So let's start with the other side. Elbow goes to the inside of the leg. Make sure that leg's not moving around on you too. You might have to tighten the pelvic floor a little bit to keep it from moving around. 4, 5, 6. If you tighten the pelvic floor and then use the adductor, the inside of the leg, that's going to stabilize it. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Good. All right. Let's do that other side. And 1. 14 and 15. All right. I just realized I hadn't done any abs. But you know what? I'll double up on abs on Monday. So no, no specific abs. Hopefully you've been using your abs the whole workout, but none today. So let's go ahead and get some stretching done, starting with the triceps, bending the elbow, pull the shoulders back, stretching the back. And after I loosen up that tricep a little bit, I can add a little lean the opposite direction. Bring the lat into the stretch there. All right, let's do the other side. Bending the elbow. Pushing elbow up to the ceiling. Okay, very good. Roll those shoulders out a little bit. Good. Let's do a little stretch in the chest here too. Don't hit your chair though. Usually I do that at the beginning, but I don't know. It just feels like it would feel good today. I told you those chest flies got me. Let's do the shoulders now. Stiffening the arm. Pulling it at the elbow across, making sure to keep that shoulder down. All right, let's do the other side. Lock the arm, shoulder down, and pull. All right, let's put the hands behind the back and bring your elbows forward, stretching the rotator cuff. Very good. Let's do the forearm, putting your hand out like a stop sign, bending the fingers back and also the thumb if you like. All right, let's do the other side. Excellent. Let's put one leg up here, cross the legs, sitting up tall, taking a deep breath in, and pushing down the knee as you breathe out. Ooh, that felt good. Felt a few little pops there. Good pops. And just to put it on tape about the pops, they say that if they don't hurt, they're not a problem, is kind of the general rule. If they do hurt when they pop, you've got a problem. You want to have that checked out. But just random, and man, I've heard some loud ones before. I've had a hard time sticking with that rule before. I'm like, well, you say they don't hurt, but you know, when somebody moves it, I mean, it can make some incredible noises sometimes. And they say that it's usually just a joint snapping around, or a tendon snapping around the joint. But man, if it doesn't sound like crunching and all kinds of terrible stuff sometimes. All right, let's put the leg out straight. Let the knee kind of drop, sitting up tall and leaning into the leg. Make sure you keep the chest up here. Don't want to round out to it. I don't even say toe touches anymore, just because everybody rounds out and tries to touch their toe. All right. You want to give your stretches about at least 20 seconds. All right, other side. Relaxing the knee. Okay, good. Can't forget about our quads. Let's go ahead and stand up. And scoot this over a little bit. All right. So, standing up tall. Pushing the hips forward, bring the knee down to the other knee, pointing straight to the floor. Good, let's do the other side. I'm just going to turn a little bit this way. All right. Okay, that is all I've got for you today. I'll see you back on Monday. Have a wonderful weekend and talk to you soon.